Art Global, a program about modern Kazakh culture in the global world. The best works of modern Kazakh culture in literature, theater, cinema, classical and traditional music and fine arts are performed at the world's notable venues. Today's Art Global program presents Kazakh violinist Ordabek Duissen, representative of musical dynasty, Kazakh top 5 violinist, laureate of national and international competitions, honored worker of Kazakhstan. Globalization encompasses all areas of life, including art. World-renowned musicians often perform in Kazakhstan, while Kazakh soloists are becoming increasingly popular worldwide. Ordabek Duissen has been living for many years in the US, and visits to his homeland becomes a cultural event. He proudly represents Kazakhstan at the best concert halls in the world. Astana. Ordabek Duissen is performing with his brother Ilyas Duissen, who made his debut as a conductor of the Astana Opera Chamber Orchestra at the Music for All Seasons concert at the capital's main theater. This concert is not the first appearance for the talented brothers. They played together in the ensemble of violinists under the guidance of Svetlana Abdusadikova. Ordabek performed Joseph Haydn's first violin concerto in G major to mark this memorable evening. Traditionally, they also performed works by Austrian composer Amadeus Mozart.
Ну вот только что, вот сейчас на днях я вот отыграл концерт, но мне всегда говорить то, что...
I just played at a concert. To say that I am delighted to perform at home means not to say anything at all. It is always special to give concerts in your own country. I'm sure that the audience profile is changing too. There were many children, and it is really nice. I hope that my concert will leave some impressions on these children.
Я надеюсь, что мой концерт оставит какое-то впечатление у этих детей.
Ordabek's younger brother Ilyas Duissen performed as a conductor at the concert. Recalling joint performances, Ilyas admits that playing with his older brother is a challenging task. The brother is a brilliant example of hardworking and persistent musician. He feels responsibility and excitement at the same time.
И именно в момент самого исполнения чувствовалась вот эта вот связь наша.
We felt a deep connection during the performance. First of all, we are musicians, then family. And it helped me to understand some technical and artistic tasks as a violinist. I understand him as a violinist. It was easier for me to do this as a conductor.
Его понимая как скрипача, мне было легче это делать, будучи уже дирижером.
This was not the first appearance between the family members at concerts. Ordabek and his sister, violinist and pianist Dina Duissen, performed on the stage as the Duissen Duo. The duo is widely known around the world. The musician's concert schedule is planned for a year, but concerts at home are special for him, though it's not a frequent practice. This musical journey started in 1981. Ordabek was born to the family of gifted dombra player Orinbay Duissen and pianist Saule Sagimbayeva. His father was also a kuishi, or performer of kuis, a traditional Kazakh compositions, an honored art worker of Kazakhstan. He grew up in the midst of creative Almaty and surrounded by musical atmosphere. He firmly decided to play violin at the age of 6 after he saw a concert performed by acclaimed violinist Vladimir Spivakov. He went to the legendary Kolyazh Baysitova Music School at 7. Then he studied at the Kazakh National Academy, headed by Ayman Musakhodjaeva. Then he started to think of his next step.
Ну, мои учителя, они как бы знали друг друга, и вот дорогой профессор мой, Эдуард Михайлович Шмидер, он продолжатель.
My teachers knew each other. My dear teacher, Professor Eduard Mikhailovich, is the successor of the Soviet musician's legacy from 1970s. He knows my teacher, Ayman Musakhodjaeva. They performed together. I knew from the beginning where I would continue my studies.
Сначала было все так для меня понятно, куда ехать.
Edward Schmeider is considered to be an outstanding musician of the late 20th century among critics. He is a violinist, conductor, founder of musical groups, and a teacher. Schmeider is also an honored professor of the Cornell Foundation and artistic director for strings at Temple University in Philadelphia. He is a member of the jury at major international competitions for talented violinists. At one such event, the professor met his future student.
Первое впечатление. Очень такой живой, энергичный, интеллигентный молодой человек.
He is very lively, energetic, and an intelligent young man. I have a special feeling towards every student. I see a personality in each of the students. I try to understand them. I am never against them.
У меня есть ансамбль.
I have an ensemble of international laureates, and for a while, Ordabek was a member of this ensemble. It's very difficult to talk about music. Words end where music begins. I'm going to say it, I'm not a music critic. We should see the musician the way he is. Today, he will perform, and this performance will be the best.
Это очень трудно. Я не музыкальный критик. Мы должны воспринимать каждого музыканта таким, как он есть. И сегодня будет он исполнять, и вы почувствуете, это будет лучший ответ.
The new period in the musician's life has started with entrance exams, scholarship, suitcase, and a case. He moved to the US. He studied at the Southern Methodist University in Dallas. The years of rehearsals passed as one day, Ordabek worked hard without taking breaks. He decided to stay in the US after the graduation. He won a competition among 50 talented violinists for a job at the symphony orchestra. Now he performs at the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra. He is the chief accompanist of the Ames Festival in Graz, Austria. The musician constantly performs at the best concert halls in the CIS, the European Union, Asia, Central America, and the US. He observed, based on his own experience, to study the essence of classical music in different countries.
Безусловно, есть и в Америке продукт, можно сказать, такой бизнес-продукт.
Certainly, there is an interest in America, and it is increasing. But music is business product in its own way, and I think that is right. After all, it is a country of capitalism and speed. In the States, everything happens so quickly, and everything is planned in advance. When I perform in Europe, in Austria, for example, I feel the audience is different in this respect. Again, this is my personal point of view, and it's nice when people come to me after the concert and express their opinion about my solos in the symphony. People know.
Мне приятно то, что после концерта подходят, говорят, что там вот ваше соло там, или там, скажем, в той части симфонии, у фагота там или у гобоя очень хорошо сегодня прозвучала там тема.
Meaning the European public is somehow sensitive to accents, and Americans look at the whole thing, on the dynamics? Yes, you are right. I think that, after all, the American audience is more focused on the general result, and the European audience is still more aesthetic in its own way.
Европейская публика, она все-таки более такая эстетичная своего рода.
Ordabek believes that in music, the language of music notes is not enough. At least you need to know English, and knowing German and Italian would be perfect. Many classic musicians spoke those languages. And speaking about the knowledge required in music, the experienced musician also has something to advise to young students.
Да, конечно, конечно. Человек должен образован, он должен знать, о чем речь, о чем эта музыка.
Yes, of course, a person must be educated, but he must know what he is talking about, what this music is about, what the composer was experiencing at that moment. Maybe he wrote it while being joyful or vice versa. Maybe the composer was going through personal tragedy. Therefore, you need to know for sure. When I am part of the commission for contests, I can tell for sure if a person knows or not.
То это сразу слышно, если человек это знает или не знает.
Despite 15 years spent in America, Kazakhstan has always remained home for Ordabek Duissen, and while performing at the best concert venues, he often includes works of Kazakh composers into his program while proudly saying, "I am from Kazakhstan."
Я люблю Жубанову, я люблю Евгения Брусиловского. Вот сейчас.
I like Zhubanov and Brusilovskis' works. Now I want to talk to my friend and composer, Agirisha Selova. She graduated from the Moscow Conservatory. She is a wonderful composer, and I want to ask her, maybe she already has something.
Композитор, и хочу ее попросить. Может быть, у нее есть уже что-то.
The name of our country is mentioned at official receptions. For example, during the opening of the National Library in Dallas. George Bush Jr. now lives in Texas after leaving the White House. He initiated to build a library at the university where Ordabek studied.
Да, но там помимо него были и Обама.
Yes, but besides him, there were Obama and Carter. There were a total of 5 presidents, including Bush Sr. I talked to Bush. I said I am from Kazakhstan. He said, "Oh great, I know."
Все здорово, здорово. Я знаю.
Musicians are generally considered to be creative people and care less about ordinary stuff. But this does not relate to Ordabek. He is not only very down to earth, but also very attached to his roots. He flew for thousands of kilometers in one evening as it happened at a concert dedicated to the 20th anniversary of the National University of Arts in Astana.
Ну вот снова Астана. Ну, сколько осталось там? Час? Да, концерт. Посмотрим.
Back to Astana again. There's an hour left before the concert. We'll see how it goes today. The atmosphere is different before the concert. I haven't met some guys for 10 years, and some of them even for 20 years.
Потому что, ну да, так сложилось. Студенческие годы такие сам.
The school years are so enjoyable, despite the fact that I've been studying in the United States. The school years at the academy gave a powerful desire and drive. There were a lot of events that took place during these years. Concerts, competitions, we had a busy schedule.
И это как-то было все быстро и интересно. Вот. Такой процесс был очень насыщенный.
Former students, who are now the present stars of the world classical stage, gave an extraordinary performance to the audiences in Astana. The lights go out, the empty hall gradually goes into darkness, and tomorrow is a new day, a new scene, a new challenge. Music is an amazing creative process that brings joy not only to surrounding people, but also to the musician himself. The only Kazakh violinist who performed all 24 caprices of Paganini in one evening could enjoy his glory after such an achievement. But for Ordabek Duissen, there is no top. Creativity is boundless.
Олимпа нет. Если есть какая-то точка, что ты вот я, все. Мне кажется, вот это будет все твое.
There is no Olympus or top where I can tell myself to stop. Therefore, I think that the process of creativity is something that always goes on. You always find something new for yourself. As the wonderful violinist Gideon Kremer said, every concert is 1,000 fragments of a mirror, and it is collected during a concert in one single mirror.
Она вот собирается в течение концерта в одно единое зеркало.
Do you always manage to do that?
Оно-то всегда, но оно по-разному.
Always. But every time it is different, and this is the beauty of creativity. It is impossible to play the same work exactly the same way.
Возможно сыграть одно и то же произведение точно так же.